We got some games to talk about for Thursday. Typically, we have one Thursday game to talk about, Brett, but it is Thanksgiving. So we should have three games to talk about. But
You
we
would
don't.
think. You would think.
The Ravens on Monday had Mark Ingram and J.K. Dobbins test positive for coronavirus, so they shut their facility down, which already would have made it extremely difficult on a short week being able to be prepared for Thursday. After the facility was also shut down on Tuesday, on Wednesday they decided to push that game back to Sunday. So there is a line out for that game. I'm still not entirely sure how that's going to all go down, but we have Houston Texans versus the Detroit Lions and the Washington football team at the Dallas Cowboys. So two Texas teams are going to be playing in different games on Thursday, and you know what? I think both of them are going to win, Brett. I'm doing a Thanksgiving Turkey Day parlay, and it's going to be Texans and Cowboys money line plus 168. And if it just comes down to the history of things, Detroit plays on Thanksgiving every year. They have about a 40% win rate. The Cowboys, they play every single year on Thanksgiving. They have about a 60% win rate. So just going with the numbers here of how it typically goes on Thanksgiving, what we're used to seeing before we go sit down for some turkey.
Well, Higgins, I can't get fully on board with the Texans. I just don't have as good of a read as you on that game, I guess. But I can get on the Dallas train, and I'm going actually -2.5 Cowboys on that one.
Okay.
Honestly, and I'm more of a Daniel Jones believer than you are, but today I think Andy Dalton might be the best quarterback in that division. Today.
hmm
We'll see how I feel in 3 weeks. We'll see how I feel in 4 weeks, but
We'll see how you feel on Friday.
we'll see how I feel on Friday. It changes like that, but today, Thursday morning, I think Andy Dalton might be the best quarterback in that division. And that's based on week 11, and only week 11, and nothing else.
Well, good thing this isn't Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. I'm not going to make you lock in your answer right now. You have time to change it as the wind blows because that's the way the NFC East has been working. But we'll see. It'll be very interesting to see how that Washington versus Dallas game goes because that game has way more playoff implications than it should for two teams at the bottom of their division that are 3-7. The NFC East makes no sense. I've stopped trying to have it make sense. I've stopped even trying to have hope in the Giants of potentially winning the division because even if they do, it's gonna be odd. It's really weird. I I don't really have a read on that Texans game in terms of the spread or anything like that. It was more betting against the Lions than betting for the Texans because Houston's been so dysfunctional this year. Uh, that Dallas game, though, I do think Dallas is better than Washington in this game. Both teams have had the quarterback troubles, so they're kind of even on that playing field. And Andy Dalton, I think he's gonna get himself this Turkey Day win. Now, Brett, like I said, we typically do get three games on Thursday. Do you remember the last time there were only two games?
Well, I know it was before they started Thursday Night Football.
Yes, it was. 2005.
2005. Okay, I farther back than I thought, but like I would have guessed like '08. I don't know. Like I would have been off, but not that off.
So the Falcons blew out the Detroit Lions 27-7, and the Broncos beat the Cowboys in overtime 24-21.
Yeah,
I'd be happy with an overtime game this Thanksgiving.
I mean honestly, Higgins, it's just like old times. It's not the end of the world, but sticking in the NFC East, I love your Giants, Higgins. And I've been telling everyone, they're the best against the spread. They just kill teams against the spread. Cincinnati's starting some guy named Brandon Allen, who I think the Broncos may have started for a week or two last year. And I'm all in on the Giants -5.5 because, like I said, Daniel Jones might be the best quarterback in the NFC East. That's what I said, right? Daniel Jones, Carson Wentz, he might be the
Yeah.
best. Yeah, exactly.
Now, I was tempted at this Giants line too because with Joe Burrow out, I'm really not hopeful in how this Bengals team is going to respond with the rest of their season. To be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if they lose out and end up with like a 2-14, maybe 3-15 record. But at the same time, that unknown, that lack of film tape that you might have, the uncertainty of what they might come out and do differently without Burrow in the pocket is keeping me off because the Giants, they're 7-3 against the spread. You're right, but most of those 7 wins are when they have been underdogs. They have not
Yeah,
been. They
but
have
I
not been
got
the
burned
favorite
by
much this
that
season.
logic, Higgins. I said they were going to lose to the Eagles, and they did not lose to the Eagles. So, it's. I think the Giants have just honestly been improving as the season's gone along. I don't you think that?
I do think they have been improving. The Giants have only been favorites in one game this season, though, and it was their 1 point win to the Washington. They were two
Ah,
point favorites.
well, I
I
mean,
think you picked them in that game too, Brett.
I
I think you
did.
did.
I love the Giants. I mean, they fight so hard. They're the team that you want to bet on because they're fighting till the end. Like, and I
They're the New York team you wish you liked.
well,
No?
when we have Trevor next year, I don't know. I don't know. We'll have the shiny new toy, Higgins.
We'll see if that ends up happening now. Jumping out of the NFC East, though, Brett, another team that has just had an abysmal season, the Jacksonville Jaguars. Well, they're hosting Cleveland. Cleveland gets to migrate south for the weekend, and I'm sure they will be very happy about being able to escape the Cleveland weather on Lake Erie in late November right now. I I really don't think the Jaguars are going to be able to put up much of a fight. I mean, they got their first and only win in their opening game of the season, and they've lost every other game since then.
No, and similar to what I just said about Brandon Allen starting for the the
Mm-hmm.
Bengals this week. Mike Glennon is starting for the Jaguars this week. Higgins, and
So
I
Jake
think
Luton was not the answer.
no, he was not. His 4 interceptions last week sent him right back to the bench, and Mike Glennon gets his shot at the Cleveland Browns this week. And honestly, Cleveland's running backs are going to have a field day. You mentioned Cleveland's excited to get off Lake Erie. I think no one is more excited than anyone that owns anyone in Cleveland's offense for their fantasy team that might actually be able to use them for the first time in 3 weeks. Lucky for me, I guess I had Nick Chubb. He was like the only one getting touches, like 27 touches a game because the weather was so bad. But I'm with you. I think that's the right side to be on, Higgins. Cleveland minus 6.5. I'm not betting on Mike Glennon to do anything.
Well, thank you for not joining me on that bet as well, because this Raiders Falcons game, you and I see rather similarly on this. I mean, I was impressed by the Raiders team that I saw against the Chiefs the other night. I thought that the Chiefs were going to come out with a lot more force and vengeance in trying to kind of make a statement after losing earlier in the season to the Raiders in Arrowhead Stadium. And Derek Carr played really well. That Raiders team overall played really well. Defense impressed me. And I really don't understand where this 3 points, only 3 point line is coming from. I think the Raiders should be favored by more. That's why I'm going to be on Raiders -3.
Well, I don't necessarily know if I think the Raiders should be bigger favorites. I think the line's about right, but I get what you're saying. I'm a little concerned about the East to West travel and the big division game a week ago. Is this a little bit of a letdown? But I just don't trust Atlanta. And like you said, Las Vegas has really been an impressive team, not just last week, but all year, Higgins, in my opinion. And that's why I'm on them here. And yeah, I had to hop on because, surprise, this is going to be my lock.
A little bit of an early hint. And hey, good news for if you're going to be on the Raiders with us. They have covered their last 4 games, 5 of their past 6. So the Raiders have been playing some really good football lately. Meanwhile, the Falcons did not cover last week, covered 2 weeks before that, and so they're 2-2 over their past 4 weeks. Not quite as strong as the Raiders against the spread. Raiders are 6-3 to match their 6-3 record.
Yeah, they've just, I mean, they've been really impressive. Like, people question the
Seven
Gruden
and three to
move.
match their 6-4 record. Excuse me.
Yeah, they've just been good, man. People question the Gruden move, and it looks like it might have been the right move.
I think it has been. I think it has been. Another uh, what is being looked at was it the right move? Was Ryan Fitzpatrick coming in to finish the game for the Dolphins last week? Now they said Tua's going to still start, and that didn't change anything. But it was very interesting. But to be honest, Tua, Fitzmagic, I don't really care. I think they're going to cover with a 7 point spread either way against the Jets. The Jets have really not played bad. They're having a historically bad season. The Dolphins, they've been playing pretty well. They have something to play for. And if they want to catch up with the Bills and potentially grab this AFC East this year, they have to keep winning and hope that Buffalo potentially loses one.
Yeah, I mean, Miami is in the thick of it. I think what they did last week was they went for the win. I don't think, I hope Tua didn't take it too personally. I think he kind of understood what was happening. I mean, it doesn't seem like he came out due to injury, but he was getting beat up in that game. So maybe it was a little precautionary as well, but I'm with you, Higgins. I would definitely be on the side of Miami in this one. What scares me is Joe Flacco looks really good in these football games until the fourth quarter, and then he looks like Joe Flacco again. So I hope seven's not too big of a number, but Miami's going to win the game. The Jets we're an O for team.
Yeah, we'll see how that game goes. I think the Dolphins will get the win though. What about the Bills up north at home hosting the Chargers and Justin Herbert?
Well, yeah, you mentioned the Bills and the Dolphins kind of fighting it out here, and the Dolphins get the Jets this week, so the Bills really can't slip up against the Chargers. And Justin Herbert, because of the Joe Burrow injury, is now the odds-on favorite to be the Rookie of the Year, and he's
Absolutely.
been really impressive. I expect LA's offense to move the ball a lot against the Bills, but I expect the Bills to have equal success moving the ball. This could be an over game for me at 52 and a half as well, Higgins. I could just see points galore here. But right now, I'm just on Buffalo minus 5.5 because I don't think the Chargers have covered yet. I know they probably have covered a game this year, but does it really feel like that?
No, it really hasn't. It really hasn't felt like that. The Chargers keep on blowing these wins. They keep
Oh my
blowing
god.
the spread. It's been really sad to see because the team plays so good for not just 3 quarters, but about 3.5 quarters, and then it's that last 750 on the clock that just the wheels fall off the bus. It gets ugly very, very quickly. Now, an interesting thing that I've been seeing more and more about with the Chargers is Eckler, who has been rehabbing. It seems like he is about healthy and ready to go. I didn't notice if he played last week for them, but is he back?
So he did not play last week. I would expect him to be back this week. Um, I don't know if that means 100% though. So we'll see what happens. I think Balaj has been decent for the Chargers in his time there. So maybe they split. Maybe Eckler gets involved. But again, the Chargers have just been heartbreak central you can't bet on the Chargers. You cannot take your money, go up to a window and be like, give me the Chargers and walk away and be like, that's a good bet. Like, there's
Yeah.
just no way. There's just no way after watching them this year.
By the way, Eckler did practice on Wednesday, so
Yeah,
assumptions are that he is back.
I think he's gonna
He's
go.
and for those that may not remember the injury, he tore his hamstring to the point that he said he could only walk backwards.
Hmm.
That
I did not
that's scary.
hear that. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
One last game that I am going to be on though, Brett, is this Chiefs versus Bucks game. Now, you already know my feelings about Tom Brady, and I was, to be honest, hoping that he'd prove me wrong down in Tampa Bay. And while Tampa Bay's had some good games, he's been a rather sore loser, and he hasn't bounced back from these losses necessarily. So I don't expect, after what the fact that he wouldn't shake the hand last week, I don't think that he's going to come back particularly strong this week against the defending champs. Pat Mahomes is going to continue with this surgical season that he's been having. He's just been playing phenomenally lights out. And Kansas City -3. This spread in Oregon right now, Brett, is about to change. It's -3 at -132. Tampa Bay is +3 at +112. I'm just going to take that before it moves because who knows how much this line might move by Sunday. And I'm going to get KC -3 while I still can, even with the odds being a little worse.
All right, there you go. KC -3 for Higgins. Yeah, I think Tom Brady. So since Antonio Brown has signed with the Bucks, the Pats are 1-2, and it just feels like
You mean the
when.
Bucks are 1-2?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I just called them the
You,
Patriots. Ay, ay, ay. What
it's
an
force of
idiot.
habit. Force of
I,
habit.
my bad. But yeah, so the Bucks are 1-2 since signing AB, and I don't know about you, Higgins, but like it feels like when they were having success, like I'm trying to remember the guy, Minnesota, Tyler Johnson. Like Tyler Johnson was catching these. He wasn't the focal point of the offense. Now they've got AB is the focal point of the offense. They had Gronkowski rolling right before they signed him. They're trying to keep him involved. They're trying to keep Evans and Godwin involved. Now they're battling through some injuries this year. Tom always had that James White guy who would catch passes out of the backfield. We've seen Jones and Leonard Fournette drop balls out of the backfield. It just it just feels like everything has been off these last 3 games, and for that I get why you're 100% on the KC side. But they have so many weapons. I'm nervous when it all clicks. I'm just going to be on the wrong side of it. And I just don't want to I don't want to be on the wrong side of it. I don't think it's this week against KC. I think you're safe at -3 with KC, but I'm not ready to hop on. And maybe I'm protecting it. Maybe I'm
Hey,
just saving you.
that's a great point, though. At some point, there are enough assets on that offense that if it clicks, it'll get very dangerous. But
Yeah, I mean,
it has been misfiring so far.
there was some offensive line shuffling of recent weeks also. So, hopefully the offensive line gets consistent, the players get consistent, everything improves.